What's up, y'all? It's Steven. I'm gonna tell y'all about my 9-month period between when I got licensed and when I got hired. So some of y'all know about the eviction story. That's only like the last 3 months of that story, but I'll tell you about December 2015 to September 2016. So my mom was an adjuster already. She told me about how much money I could make in the business. I went and I studied for my license. I did not pass it the first time because the independent insurance adjusting license is not always easy, guys. So even though I'm a smart person, I rushed through it. I rushed through studying, so I tried to study fast as I can. Failed the first time, and then after that, I studied another week, and then I passed my test, got my background check done, I got my fingerprints done. I was a licensed independent adjuster. I thought I was gonna get hired like the next week. It don't work like that. At that time, I had my license in December. January comes, and my dad has a heart attack, and so everything stopped. For me and my dad have a really close relationship, and I was living in another state. I was living in Georgia, and he was in Alabama, so I was traveling to see him and take care of him. My other sisters were, my mom was as well, and that kind of derailed adjusting for me for several months. Life happens to all of us, all right? So I like to say when it rains on everybody. So that was a really intense period for me. He made it out safely. You know, he did like 30 days in ICU, and then from there he had a long road to recovery. And so I was there, my sisters were there, like I said, you know, helping when we could. And then I had to keep making money, so I was a personal trainer at the time, and I was struggling. You know, I was really struggling to make ends meet. None of my bills were really expensive. I just wasn't making enough money, you know. And I think for a lot of us out there, like, we don't have a budgeting problem, we got an income problem. And that might be why you're here right now, is because you got an income problem, right? And so at that time I had a license, but I had an income problem still. And so, you know, I keep struggling, and I had a lot of pride at that time. So I think I still got a lot of pride, but my ego was there, and I didn't really want to tell other people about my struggles, and I didn't want to get other people involved, including my family. And so, you know, my lights got cut off for, it was probably like in June, maybe July. My lights got cut off, and, you know, if anybody's been to Atlanta, they call it Hotlanta for a reason. It is really hot, you know. And so I was on the second floor of an apartment building, and I didn't have any air conditioning. I was just like hot all the time. I didn't have any Wi-Fi, so I couldn't really do any work at home or anything like that. So I had to go to Starbucks, charge my phone up, charge my iPad, and get on the internet there. And I was just hungry all the time. I remember just being hungry. Like, I was always hungry, you know. Something happened. I had made some money. I think I had like $600 or $700. My rent at the time, keep in mind, y'all, this is 2016. My rent was like $650, and I didn't have $650 for my rent. So I got some clients that paid me, and they paid me like $600 or something. I almost had all the money I need for my rent. And I got home late that night at like 1 a.m. I left my wallet in the car. I wake back up at 5, and somebody had stolen my wallet out of my car and some other things. And I was furious. You know, I called my sister. I'm crying. I'm like, yo, like, wow, these people do this to me. I never did nothing to nobody that would make them want to rob me. But I was living in a tough area at that time. That's what $650 a month can afford in Atlanta, is living in a tough area. So my sister tells my mom that, you know, hey, Steve's struggling, his lights is off and everything. And so my mom paid my light bill. It was like a $150 light bill for 2 months. It was just really low numbers. I was really struggling that bad. And then so I got some more clients at that time. I had to make a decision. You know, I was facing eviction by that point. For some of y'all who already know this part of the story, you know the rest. I was facing eviction, and I was tired. I was like, enough. I'm tired of struggling like this. This is not going to happen anymore. All right, I can't keep living like this. I don't want to live in a place where people can just rob me whenever they feel like it. I don't want to be in a place in my life where I can't pay my light bill, or I can't pay for food. I'm tired of being hungry. I was skinny. Like, I was so skinny, guys. Like, I think I was like 100 and maybe 70 pounds. Right now, I'm 219. So to give you an idea, I was 40 pounds lighter than I am now. Maybe almost 50 pounds lighter than I am now. So I was super skinny, always hungry, and my lights was off. I was struggling so much, and I had to make a change. All right, I had to make a radical change, and I committed to buying 5 licenses. I was like, yo, I already have my license as an adjuster. This personal training thing ain't working out. I don't have any other cards on the table. This is the card I'm gonna play, and I went for it. Started applying to IA firms. I started, you know, I got my licenses done, and within a month, I get a call from Steve Maresh. Steve Maresh was a recruiter from The Best Claims. Back then, it was called The Best IRS, but it was The Best Claims. And so I remember I get the call, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say, you know, in the interview. He's interviewed me for a position in Winter Haven, Florida. Auto PIP in Winter Haven, Florida, and for State Farm. And so I call my friend and say, yo, what should I say? I don't know what to say. So I hang up on Steve, and I call my friend and say, yo, what should I say? She's like, say this, and this. I call Steve back and say, yo, Steve, I was going through a tunnel, man, but what'd you say again? And I start answering all the questions right. He said, all right, Steve, look, I'll give you a call here in a bit. We're gonna review your application. We're gonna review your interview questions, and we'll see if we got a spot for you. So I said, all right. Cool. So 30 minutes go by. I get an email, and maybe I'll put the email up here for y'all so y'all can see it. But that email was from, it was a job offer, $36.50 an hour, and it started like 3 days from then, right? So today, as I'm recording this, September, so that was September 2016, September 2023, that was what, 7 years ago. Everything changed for me. I was in the convenience store parking lot, white t-shirt, gray shorts on, and I could breathe again. I had to be there in 36 hours. Call my sisters up, call my mama, say, Mom, I got the job. Hey, yo, Alice, I got the job. Pack my apartment up in the nighttime because I didn't want the property manager to know I was dipping because, I was getting evicted at that time. And I went to Winter Haven, Florida, and I got fired 5 days after that. They hired too many people. So unfortunately, last one's in, first one's out. But I got another deployment. A week after that, it was a 3-week long deployment. After that, I was off for 6 weeks, and then there was a 7-month deployment. The rest was history. And now I am the person I am. Y'all, I don't want you going through this for 9 months like I did. I don't want you having to struggle for those 9 months like I did, all right? The process I have taught and the process I've learned over my years as an insurance adjuster, being hired over 20 times, all over the United States, remote, field, auto, worked in Canada a couple times, I've learned how to get hired. I've learned how to excel. I learned how to produce at a high level. That's the things I want to teach y'all, okay? So that's my story. My name is Steven Story. I'll talk to y'all soon.